A lot of people swing and miss when they try to roast a chicken at home, but today I'm going to show you a no-fail method that's going to render a juicy, flavorful chicken each and every time. This one is perfect for meal prep or a delicious Sunday dinner. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. All right, people, first things first, we got to prep the chicken. This right here is a 4.5-pound organic chicken. We got this from Harris Teeter, ran me about 18 bucks, which admittedly is a little bit expensive, but it's organic. You're gonna pay a little bit more for that. One thing that I wanna call out is you see the yellow tint to the fat on the chicken. That's actually a good sign. Some people I've seen in like Instagram comments mention that it looks gross. That actually means it's been eating a healthy diet. You know, chickens are supposed to roam free and eat from the ground and worms and all that good stuff. They're not supposed to be fed the BS that we feed them. That's where the yellow tint comes from. A cheaper non-organic chicken, you can probably get one for like $5 or $6. So still a fairly inexpensive piece of protein from the grocery store. Unless you get organic, that's going to cost you. Now we're gonna go ahead and break this chicken down. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and remove the backbone. So I'm gonna take some sharp kitchen scissors and just cut down the spine of the chicken. I'm gonna do this first, effectively, you know, what they call it spatchcocking the chicken, which is like removing the backbone, and then we're gonna, part it out completely. You can just roast it straight spatchcock if you want to. One thing that I like to do, or that I find, is that, you know, separating everything initially, you're gonna end up with a prettier presentation at the end because everything's gonna cook, you know, separately. And then also some of the smaller parts may cook faster, and you could pull those out of the braise a little earlier if you want to. All right, so next we're just gonna remove the leg quarters, separate the breast, get rid of anything that we're not gonna, you know, plan on eating or cooking. It's gonna be real simple. Use a nice sharp knife for this. Again, if you want, you can roast it as is if you have a large enough Dutch oven or roasting pan. But we're gonna break this down into individual pieces. All right, guys, once you have the chicken fully broken down, you should have yourself a 10-piece. We're gonna go ahead and rinse that off to make sure we remove any bone fragments, cartilage, anything that could damage our teeth or anything that you don't wanna eat. After you thoroughly rinse the chicken, make sure you clean up behind yourself, and then we're gonna dry the chicken. So we wanna lay down some paper towels and just lay the chicken that's been rinsed off on those paper towels, get them nice and dry as possible, and then we're gonna heavily salt brine the chicken. If you have 24 hours to do this, you can do it overnight. If not, 30 minutes will get the job done. But we're gonna salt brine the chicken, then we're gonna sear it and get started on our braising liquid that we're gonna cook the chicken in. That's gonna essentially make it fall off the bone tender.
And this episode is sponsored by Raycon. With the Super Bowl just passing recently and the Winter Olympics going on, I've been trying my best to stay consistent with workouts and just moving my body. And honestly, the right gear makes a huge difference. I've been using Raycon's bone conduction headphones lately, and they've completely changed how I train and move throughout the day. What makes these different is they don't sit inside your ears. They use bone conduction technology, which means basically they send vibration through your bones to deliver sound while your ears stay open. So I can listen to music or a podcast, but still hear what's going on around me, whether I'm walking, cooking, or out running errands. That's been huge for me because I still like to be aware of my surroundings and also still have something playing in the background. They're built for all day use too, up to 13 hours of battery life, which is huge for me. They're also IP68 waterproof and dustproof, and they stay secure without slipping, even when I'm moving around or at the gym. I personally use these when I'm walking, running, getting my steps in, or even cleaning up around the kitchen. Raycon gives you premium performance without the premium price tag. And over 3 million customers already love them. Plus, they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. If you want to check them out, go to buyraycon.com/MrMakeItHappenBC to get 15% off. The link is on the screen and in the description. Thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this video.
All right, so for the actual roasting or the braising of it's kind of like a roast braise hybrid, right? We're using mirepoix, traditional French flavors. You got carrots, you got onions, you got celery. We're gonna make it a little untraditional a little later, but for right now, we're keeping it pretty traditional. So we're gonna go ahead and rough chop the carrots, celery, onions, add in some garlic, add in some lemon. We're gonna use a little white wine for this. It's gonna get deglazed in the same skillet that we're going to use to sear the chicken. All right, the next step here is to go ahead and sear the chicken. We're keeping just salt on it right now because we're looking for a specific color. We're going to season it more a little bit later. You want to go skin side down first. Get the skillet nice and hot. Add some avocado oil or high smoke point cooking oil. And then press that chicken down nice and flat as much as possible. Make sure it's making good surface area contact with the skillet. When the crisp that skin up, obviously we're gonna wrap this and braise it, so the crispiness is gonna go away during that process. But when we unwrap it to finish, we'll be able to get the crispiness back on the skin. We're basically doing this for color right now, not to get it crispy. The crispness will come when we finish it in the oven. All right, so as you can see, we have a beautiful golden brown color on the chicken, which is exactly what we wanted. We're gonna hit it with plenty of seasoning later. Speaking of seasoning, tons of flavor at the bottom of this skillet from the fond. We're gonna go ahead and deglaze with some dry white wine. As you can see, that's pulled up all that fondant flavor off the bottom of the skillet. We're gonna let that cook down and reduce, get the veggies in there. Let those start to caramelize and soak up some of that flavor as well. And then we're gonna build our braising liquid. Tons of flavor. You want some acid, you want some herbs, you want plenty of salt on chicken. Classic flavors, but it's gonna pair beautifully with the chicken that we're making today. That's the goal. So in goes the veggies, mirepoix, garlic, all that good stuff. Gonna crank the heat back up a little bit. Most of that wine's cooked off. You're gonna get some of the residual flavor, some of the acid from the dry white wine. And then the veggies are gonna caramelize a bit. We'll get the herbs in there and then finish making the sauce. All right, so we're gonna bring this up to a gentle boil. I'm gonna add in a little dark soy sauce. This is just a little trick that I like to use on recipes like this. It's gonna add a little umami. It's not really gonna taste like fried rice or anything like that. I know that people don't usually use soy sauce on a recipe like this, but you guys gotta trust me. It's gonna add some great color and a great little note of flavor that your guests are gonna be like, what is that? That's what we're going for. So as always, guys, taste as you go and adjust the flavor to your preference. You want this liquid to be as flavorful as possible because it's gonna flavor the chicken as it cooks. We're gonna wrap this in foil real tight, put it in the oven between 275 and 300 degrees for about 90 minutes until the chicken is just about fall apart tender. Then we're gonna uncover it and hit it up to 425 to 450, really brown that chicken up nicely. Reduce this broth later into a delicious sauce, and we're gonna plate this up. All right, people, there you have it, perfectly roasted chicken. We're gonna go ahead and take that braising liquid. We're gonna reduce it down until it thickens up. If you need to add a slurry, you can. Quick reminder, guys, that this recipe and all of my recipes can be found at MrMakeItHappen.com. Without further ado, it's time to dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, people, time to dig in for the taste test. This is absolutely fall off the bone, just falling apart tender. Look at that, just no effort at all. This might be the best roast chicken recipe on the internet. Jesus. Just falling apart. You guys have got to try this one. Damn.